did this was, just like the worldwide album, everything reads left to right like a book, right? Everything's ordered by Scott number for the most part, although I did organize all these stamps in my stock books by the image number in the catalog. Now, each one of these little squares, instead of handwriting them like I did with my worldwide album of his, it was just way too sloppy. I was just trying to figure out a way to remedy that. Well, I ended up getting this, what is this thing called? A Dymo Label Writer 450 label printer. And these are actually adhesive labels, so they have a little margin on all of them to peel the sticky off. So unfortunately I had to actually cut all 4 margins off of every single one of these little description papers. But at least I came up with the way to neatly identify every single one. So that was the story there. Now, yeah, everything reads left to right like a book in rows. And everything should be ordered by Scott number. And it's not 100% perfect, but I certainly really did try. So let's get started here. We'll start at the earliest U.S. stamps he had, which was actually number 219D, so he didn't have any super early stuff. But this one, you know, everything says the year 1890. It shows Washington. It's late color. It's worth $5.50 a piece. And then, yeah, A61 is the item, or the design image number. So yeah, it just goes one at a time. All of this, almost all of the higher denomination or higher value stamps are actually here at the beginning. See, these are the 2-cap Washington varieties that people are probably familiar with. Little cap on the 2. Those were $35 a piece. And yeah, by far, a large majority of these stamps are worth a catalog value of 25 cents. So these are the early ones. Super common. Some of them I was able to identify the type. Yeah. Watermarks, all that good stuff, right? Next page. I said likely a duplex cancel. The heavily inked number 7 with bars is intended to cancel the stamp and tell its location. I put little stuff in here, little notes to try and help people understand, you know, that aren't stamp collectors and don't know, right? Duplex canceller was a hand stamp used to cancel postage stamps and print a dated postmark applied simultaneously with one device. So you can notice, I think the reason I put that, you can see the remnants of the circular date stamp, and then it also has the obliterator or whatever. So interesting. We've got a bunch of Washington flat plate printings. Oh, that actually looks like another duplex, and it also has the year on there. That's pretty nice. What we got here? It says, let's see, $1.10 unused, never hinged, original gum. Never hinged means never, NH means never hinged. OG means original gum. Unused means never used for postage. Mint means mint. M&H. So I'm explaining the abbreviations pretty much. Mint never hinged. The stamp doesn't qualify because of the small tear in the bottom center. So it's no longer mint. It's just unused. The Washington Carmine varieties. What did I say here? It's like, I don't know, the side cut can't, the side is cut. Oh, the side is cut off, so I can't measure the millimeters of the design accurately to identify that one. Garfield. So we're scrolling through the presidents here. Warren G. Harding, Grover Cleveland, Statue of Liberty, Rotary Press. I'm inconsistent sometimes. I was bothering to put the perfs here, apparently, which that definitely stopped at some point. Just extra stuff. Okay, next page. Actually, let me show you real quick. So yeah, you can see the back of the stamps. It's cool. You can see just like their general condition. Some of them have writing, some of them have paper left on. You can just, it makes it much easier to tell what's going on as far as the overall condition of the stamp. So very nice. I definitely am enjoying these clear pages so far. George Carmine, George Washington, Carmine Rose. Then we got some more color varieties here. Rotary Press. Different cancels. So that's the end of the Washington Bicentennial. Move on to some group of workers. Mount Rainier stamps, yeah. These are all pretty common now. We're into the realm of where every single thing is worth about a quarter. And that's the catalog, so they're probably worth 10 cents. Pretty minimal, right? That's okay. It's not about what they're worth. I mean, this is purely sentimental, this collection, so. Slipped a little black construction paper back there. So this is the end of the presidential series and the beginning of the Famous Americans issues. I was extremely gracious with the space on this page. Don't know what that's about. So yeah, American poets, American scientists. Then we have composers. Looks like I wrote a little. Here I explain slogan cancellations. See, a slogan cancellation is a machine cancel that is combined with a brief message and sometimes a small illustration. The slogan is usually some sort of public service message with no private commercial purpose or intent. You know, I forget things sometimes. It's nice that I put this in here. I know you can see me. Hey. You know, just to talk out loud for a moment while we look at some of these. Sorry for the glare on these plastic pages. I have yet to find a remedy for that. But next page here. You know, I brought this to my job to show my secretary, and she just kind of blew through it. She doesn't really care about stamps. It was a funny moment for me to think about that I've spent, you know, well, when I say 5 or 6 months making this, I don't mean every single minute, but, you know, in my free time. It's funny to spend that much time making something and effort into something just for somebody else to practically dismiss it like it's nothing at all. It's just funny. Hey, not everybody's into stamps. It's okay. So this one is sock on the nose, I say. Full-blown cancel there. Well, you can see that. Nice. Yeah, I thought it was worthwhile, you know, to take the time to actually write this stuff out. I mean, people will look at these stamps and you cannot interpret everything that they're about just from looking at them, you know? And it's nice to actually have a description. Unless you're in the catalog, you really you don't know right off the bat, and so it's like no question about it. Key and American flags of 1814 and 1948, rose pink. Done deal. That's what that is. So the explanation I thought was just worthwhile. Here I explain what sock on the nose, what SOTN is. Stands for sock on the nose, and philately a stamp with a centered cancel, aka bullseye cancel. Some people collect only these. Yeah, that one's beautiful. Nice, Gramps. That was good. Alrighty, next page. Will Rogers. On to the next here. Excuse my stomach. I actually always liked the look of this stamp. It says Stoddart's 1718 map of regions about Annapolis, redrawn as aquamarine color. You know, this is killer. Oh man. So this is actually 2 blocks of 2 of this, and they've both got this nice scrolling Kansas City cancel. Actually, these are blocks of 3, and they have the same cancel. Geez, all of these say Kansas City. I didn't realize that. Well, okay. This is Carson Valley. It says Carson Valley, comma C. I guess California or... Oh, Nevada. What the heck? Okay, whatever. Maybe that was a typo, but it looks like I did it intentionally. It says 1851. And we got the Detroit skyline and Cadillac Landing. Oopsie. Alrighty, next page. Then we have NATO issues. We're up to a number Scott in the thousands and the 50s. So we move to the Liberty issue. 1955. I always thought that was a good looking stamp. I mean, I just like that. I like the color, to be honest. This is a nice vertical pair, even though it's laid horizontally, of mint pair of those. Pretty sure it's mint number hinged. I didn't write that. I mentioned when they're coil stamps as well. So I use some black pages, black Vario pages in this album. I mentioned when things are tagged, if whoever's checking the album out happens to have a UV light, they can verify. Having looked at the last bit of stamps at the very end of his collection here of the US, they have different tagging styles. It's pretty unique. These ones, the whole stamp just simply glows. But later on in the US, they have like little block taggings, like just a little square will be tagged. And now they have different kind of like an orange kind of tagging. Ultraviolet light makes it just look orange instead of yellow. It's cool stuff. That's later on though. Monticello. Paul Revere. Oh, those ones are worth 75 cents a piece. And they have some nice pre-cancels on there. John Marshall. Susan B. Anthony. So that's the end of, I think, that series. Those each have $1. Face value, that's cool. Oh, actual catalog value is $1 as well. Patrick Henry. So on to the next page. And this is Marine, Coast Guard, Navy. All kinds of cool stuff. It's like walking through time, you know. And all of these are usually talking about things that happened. So I had to kind of space things strangely to make them fit so you could see everything, so I put arrows just to clearly identify what label goes to what stamp. That's a nice block of 4. 1988. Looks like an 88 cancel to me, I think. Perfs are cut. Somebody just chopped the perfs right off of that thing. They butchered it off of the envelope. He had a nice variety, you know. Unfortunately, I never got to ask him, I never thought to ask him, let's say, how long he collected, but he definitely collected for a while. Some more flags, Andrew Jackson, a whole bunch of those guys. That's actually, looks like Rockford. That's nearly sock on the nose. Here I actually explain tag stamps because I guess it was a good point in the album to do so. So we've got a bunch of this John J. Pershing, Washington. Yeah, you know, every time that I actually look through this, I'm pleased because my goal was to make it a little nicer than the last one. You know, I should be able to show some progression as a collector in the quality of the album that I made. And so, in my mind, the upgrades were going to be mainly the clear pages, and then actually typing and printing out these labels so that anybody can read it. And I know some of them actually are a little bit small font, but you know, you can always get a magnifying glass if we're looking at this in person and struggling to read. Although I'm able to make out pretty much every single one of the labels, so I am pleased. I just think it makes it nice and clean. I like that one. So here I explain this issue. I say, well, the stamp is the discus thrower, physical fitness dash Sokol issue. Interesting. Publicizing the importance of physical fitness and for the centenary of the founding of the Sokol, or the athletic organization in America. See, to actually sit there and type that out, because unfortunately, side note everybody, in that Scott catalog online, you cannot highlight and copy the text from the pages of the catalog, so I have to type them out. I was bummed. That's something I forget about. If I was able to copy and paste this stuff, this would have made this a whole lot easier for me. Nonetheless. Yeah, as I think about it, if any of you guys happen to know some kind of, tear-away thing, like a label printer, but that doesn't take adhesive labels, like just that was my problem. I couldn't find a little label printer that would just like print out a little square like this that didn't take an adhesive. It wasn't an adhesive label, whatever. So this is the Prominent American issues. Nice. Frank Lloyd Wright. And the Guggenheim Museum. Okay. I think I said that right. Francis Parkman. Something to mention. So, Bureau Pre-Canceled Stamp. That's what that is, right? It's got this non-profit organization scrolling cancel on it. Oh, sorry. So, it's untagged. It's a coil stamp that's a pre-cancel. Now, I just noticed the trend in the catalog. Bureau pre-cancel, right, as they call it. That they're always untagged. So if you are identifying if you're checking out a bunch of these, like I was, as soon as you saw the Bureau pre-cancel, you know that it's untagged. I just became familiar with that, so I just figured I'd mention it. Seems to be pretty much every single Bureau pre-cancel is untagged. I also wanted to mention, in the catalog, they go from, the way that they order it is, like with these Lincolns, here's just like the original release, right? There's your number, what is that, sorry, 1282. So, that one's untagged. That's just a plain stamp. And then they'll list next will be the first variation, right? And it'll be this guy, 1282A. And that one is tagged. And so that's how they list it in the catalog. Next will come coils after that. Right, but so we'll go on to these Washingtons here. They are blue, tagged. They're perforated all the way. That already is a variation because they're tagged. That's 1283A. So he didn't have any plain, just 1283s, it seems. So this is ordered where I know that it's in the way that it's ordered by Scott numbers. So even though these seem similar to the other Washingtons we were just looking at in the actual catalog, this is how it's ordered. So this guy comes next because he's still fully perforated, right? And next in the catalog for this kind of entire release of this series, next comes the coils, and then it lists and explains all the coils. So that's how I've done it. That's pretty much the way that it is listed in the catalog. Let's see here. So these are from a booklet pane of 8. Oh wow, so you got some singles and then an actual piece of what the booklet pane would have been supposedly. Got some horizontal coil Stamps. Tag. We got vertical. So we got vertical and horizontal. Next page, Albert Einstein, Henry Ford, Andrew Jackson. Some pretty big names. Got a couple of blocks here explaining perfins. Shortened. Oh, sorry, the camera blocks me. Shortened form of perforated initials or perforated insignia. A stamp with privately produced perforations through its face. Generally in the form of initials or a symbol that identify the stamp or owner of the stamp. What the heck? So, I put a note in here. I would have to buy the U.S. Perfin catalog from a Perfin club or society online at about $100 in order to look these up, these UP initials on these stamps, for example, and see what company that these specific Perfin stamps were used for. Every country has its own catalog. It's crazy how much money you would need to spend to identify worldwide. Wow. Sorry for the out of focus camera there. Why won't it focus? Come on. There you go. Most people ignore perfins. This is true. So yeah, the thought of, geez, if it's $100 for a catalog, and if you wanted to identify all the perfins of all the countries, well, okay, that's craziness. Well, I totally forgot that I worked over this. I worked on this over enough months that I can't remember everything. Here we have George Catlin Marshall again. I think again. He looks similar. Some of these look similar to me. I don't know. Frederick Douglass. A bunch of those. We got tagged. We got a nice John Dewey block here. Beautiful cancel. 71. John Dewey again. Thomas Paine, Lucy Stone, tagged varieties, Eugene O'Neill. Scroll on over here. Migratory birds. What is this? Mongrel. Okay. I guess it was issued the humane treatment of animal issues. Okay. Promote the humane treatment of animals. The Johnny Appleseed issue says issued to honor Johnny Appleseed, John Chapman was his name, 1774 to 1845, who wandered over 100,000 square miles planting apple trees, and who gave away and sold seedlings to Midwest pioneers. Huh. Johnny. Wow. Johnny boy. That's Madonna. She's on Christmas stamps a lot. This one's called The Boating Party. It's got a nice little plate block here. Well, it's not a plate block. It's no. It's just a block. There's no tag. A lot of stuff, Grandpa. he had a lot of these. Um, there are definitely a bunch of variations of these. A lot of these are just stained. It's probably just the paper they were on, or the adhesive, or whatever. Yeah, I guess my guess would be he used a lot of these. That's a nice one right there at the top. All one strip. Bunch of different sections here. Different length strips. What did I say here? Map of North and South America. Huh. It's for the Hemisphere 68 issue. Hemisphere 68 exhibition in San Antonio, Texas. April 6th to October 6th. For the 250th anniversary of San Antonio. Huh. So that was this one, actually, yeah. Policeman and small boy. Oh, that one I had to lay down. Just to keep it safe. Disney and Children of the World. And some mint never hinged. Nice. Yeah, I definitely love this album. Try to go a little quicker because it takes like 3 hours to actually explain every single one. It's the truth. Which I'm not totally against doing. I did that in the other video, but you know, it's funny because I think about it. 3 hours. I mean, that's like sitting down and watching The Lord of the Rings. It's just really long. So, believe it or not, it's actually. I mean, to watch a 3-hour video I make, I probably edited it for 3 hours, and to film it for 3 hours, and I had to like find music for it, and edit the music and upload it. And I've actually, when I did that 3-hour video for his worldwide, that almost killed a day for me, man. I mean, I did that all in one swoop, filmed it and edited it, everything. Like, it just ends up being a lot to do. That's all. And I like, I mean, I like getting views, but I like making that kind of video every now and then too. Because obviously the shorter videos get more views, but you know, that way, if I give an up close on everything like I did before, everybody gets to see everything up close. But doing that definitely makes for a full-length feature. So yeah, I mean, if you guys see anything that you want to read, you can always just pause the video and read it. And I do want to apologize for the kind of creaking noise. That's the camera holder. I'm trying to manipulate it, and it does tend to make a little creaky noise. Venus, Mercury, Mariner. Battle of Bunker Hill. You know what? I decided to do away with the camera holder and just do it by hand. No more creaking. Hopefully you guys don't mind me being maybe less steady. Eagle and shield, I always like that. So here I've actually just got one long mint never hinge strip. It's actually supposed to be like this. Most are mint never hinge, some creased. Iron Betty lamp, rush lamp, candle holder. That's a nice coil. So that was the end of the Americana series, was that one? One of these. Some Olympic stamps, Christmas. So overall tagged and block tagged. So this one, it's actually been long enough I kind of forget, but I believe this one's tagged, like even all the way to the perfs. Like the entire tag stamp is tagged, and I think this one, I think that it's just a square block, like just the image design, and the perfs aren't tagged. I could be wrong. Interesting. What did I say here? This issue compared to number 7 has snow flaking on the pond and sky. The lettering at the base is gray-black instead of pure black. Huh. This one was Exploring Stamps, favorite Christmas stamp. Child on a hobby horse. Okay, so this is the Great Americans issue. That was quickly over. And we're on to back to regular definitives and stuff. Puma, I always like that one. We made it to the transportation coils. There's another one of our Bureau pre-cancels that, of course, should be untagged. It didn't specify that, but we should already know that. Some domestic mail. I don't know if you guys have heard me say in my other videos, but this just reminded me, says engraved stamp. Anytime that I ever see the word engraved stamp, I think about that moment that I realized when I read on some random forum, the guy said, how can you tell if it's engraved? He said, just gently stroke your fingernail across the top of the stamp, and if you can feel the little ridges of the engravement on the stamp design, then you know it's engraved, as opposed to like a lithographed one would be nice and smooth. You wouldn't feel any little ribs or ridges on the stamp. I thought that was just so brilliant, because I sure had no idea how to tell. And I will say, taking your fingernail and kind of scratching the top of the stamp, like it was a scratch and sniff, let's say, seems to me a slightly aggressive thing to do, and you could potentially damage the stamp, so I don't know. The thing is, in these older ones, these are worth nothing, and what do I have to lose? This is all learning for fun. That is one easy way to tell if a stamp's engraved. Just scratch it with your fingernail, and you should feel the little ridges of the engravement. Now, I've never actually damaged a stamp doing that yet, but if I had some expensive stamp and was trying to determine if it was engraved, I probably wouldn't be scratching it. Some more transportation coil business here. Oh, this one, the Bureau pre-cancel is actually in red, pre-sort first class. That is still considered a Bureau pre-cancel. I have a trillion of that stamp. Yosemite with the flag. Some birds. North American wildlife here. Christmas in love. I instantly recognize these stamps every single time because they came out the year I was born. Not that I saw them the year I was born, but that was just a really easy way to remember. Some more transportation coils, steam carriage. The transportation coils were not just released all at one time. They were released bit by bit throughout the years, kind of one chunk of the series after the next, and then finally, poof, it ended. But there was many issues of the transportation coils. Always liked the Bobcat too. That one's cool. F-rate makeup stamp. There's Elvis, the best-selling stamp in U.S. history. I'm pretty sure I said that. Yeah, this is the most popular U.S. stamp of all time. 1.24.1 trillion saved by the public. Hubba hubba. Jack in the Box. Buffalo Soldiers. Yeah, these were fun to identify. A bunch of different flag stamps. Okay, so finally we've come to the end of the regular issues that he collected. The last one that my grandpa had of the definitive, regular issue was this one from '03 with the reindeer. I think that he gave this to me not too long after that. So anyway, we've made it to airmail. That was his oldest airmail from 1930, wing globe in abysmal condition. Oh my gosh, that thing is beat. The wing globe. One of my more favorite stamps. This guy's just a beautiful stamp. My grandfather was in the Air Force, so I think that there's a possibility that he could have gotten some of these airmail stamps on duty. Silhouette of the jet airliner. Lincoln. Excuse my stomach. I hear you. Yeah. I actually did these ones recently when I finished this, and did these in the morning, the very early morning, like 5 a.m. So this page concludes the airmail, and we move on to postage due. This is oldest one from 1917. Most of these, actually, whoever owned them already wrote what their number was on the back. Kind of helps make it easy. So we have more postage due, and we move on to special delivery. I am not sure with this one. I really tried. I was trying to differentiate the gray violet ones from what I think this one is deep ultramarine. You know, because it's interesting. Because I mean, like, this one clearly is violet. When you look at this one, it's not that far from that. But yeah, see, as I look at it now, I'm pretty convinced too. I definitely. I just mentioned. I just was quite unsure. If that was deep ultramarine, but I think so. On second thought, you know what, guys? I think it is. I must be right. Okay, and so that was it. We moved on to stamped envelopes and wrappers. And anybody who watched the video I just did, it's nice to have that knowledge to know, you know, what I'm looking at to some extent, at least with these stamps. There's some Franklin, Abraham Lincoln. And I'm explaining to whoever looks at this the you know, fine, very fine, because of the margins, and they're getting worse and worse. He really did have a lot of stuff. Quite the variety. I actually quite like that Eagle Cancel. Serving America. We have some more stamped envelopes. I think these are the ones, actually. I don't know. Okay, so interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I have to check, but I think these ones kind of glow reddish under the ultraviolet light. Let me check. I was wrong. They glow green. I had seen some that kind of had a red glow. So anyway, this one, this one is not tagged. But if this series, this specific stamp isn't tagged, it's supposed to have 3 blue lines that are a pre-cancel running through it for it to not be tagged, and I don't see them. So I was speculating if it's an error. I mean, I don't see the pre-cancel lines, and it's not tagged, so that kind of doesn't add up. So that's it for stamped envelopes. We actually move on to postal cards. Now, I had no idea until I made this page that these are from postal cards. I thought they were all from envelopes. So, like, I've come across this America the Beautiful Buffalo stamp a whole bunch, and Prairie. It's yeah, I didn't know. It was just a postcard. On the back, you can see. Oh yeah. So it says, "Dear John and B.A." I'm sure it's Barb. That was his wife, John and Barb. So that one was clearly, I think, sent to my grandma and grandpa. That one was sent to Dallas, somebody named Dallas. But yeah, you can tell the difference when we move from the stamped envelopes. All of a sudden, they really are postcards. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is an actual air post stamped envelope, I think. Yeah, because it would be PC, not UC, if it was a postcard. The C, the C means airmail, and oh, never mind. These postcards are actually UX. My bad, UX. Okay, so anyways, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's definitely embossed, so, or raised up or whatever. Revenue stamps is next. George Washington. That's one of the older stamps he's got, period. 1864. Pretty old. We've got another one with some nice script on it. Foreign exchange. Then we have these Battleship Stamps. I don't know if you guys are familiar. For those of you who aren't, rouletted refers to the perforations. And instead of, see, in comparison, see the perforations on this stamp here, this Washington, has normal perfs. A rouletted stamp has kind of odd perfs. They kind of, it's like almost a, I know they're both tearaway, but maybe even more of a tearaway kind of perf style, like longer horizontal sections missing. So that's rouletted. It's totally different, and not many stamps have rouletted perforations, but when you see that kind of style, you know it ain't normal. That's called rouletted. So those stamps are a little bit different. This one, $5 each. That's right. This was one of the better cat value pairs that he had, so I remember that. So that was it for revenue. We move on to U.S. possessions. The first one's the Philippines. He only had one. Jose Rizal. Then United Nations is next. He definitely had some, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So that was it for his normal stuff for U.S. definitives, commemoratives, back a book. Boom. The next thing here is just a bunch of Christmas seals that he had. He had a whole bunch, and they're all super minimal catalog value. The value of Christmas seals drops off, I forgot what year, but kind of like I don't know, 1930s or something. I'm guessing, I forgot. But so I didn't bother to actually catalog these. These are not actually considered stamps, which I do explain in this little block here, but they're just charity seals, you know. They usually go to tuberculosis or something like that. And one more page of Christmas seals. I actually like that one, with the boy hanging out by the fireplace. That one says 1948. That's a nice one. I like it. Holy moly, guys, we did it. This is it. So yeah, he finishes off some Christmas seals. This is actually an Easter seal. And then this is some totally random... I was really trying to figure this out. When I first found it, I was like, what the heck kind of stamp is that? I don't think it's a stamp. I think it's as willy-nilly a thing as... like the Monopoly game tear-offs from McDonald's French fries and stuff that we used to get. I think this is just some baloney. So that's Groundhog Day stamp. And then this is just a postage paid permit. And this is just like a state flag sticker that would go at the top of a album page for Alabama stamps or something. So that was it, guys. Holy moly. Somebody, by the way, somebody actually identified all of these seals already on the back, so that's another reason why I didn't bother. How cool, huh? Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This was a major labor of love for me, and I am pretty much gonna take a break on Grandpa's stuff I will, as I did this, I realized that I do need to make a video of that third binder. I still haven't done that, so I'll do that at some point. And I still haven't actually identified all the stamps in it either, so thanks, Gramps. Really appreciate it. I love all these people. Thanks for watching, guys. Be well and take care. Bye-bye.